Grief in community, turning toward our sorrows. One woman just happened to be walking through the park on her way to a yard sale. "Hi, welcome," I said as I greeted her. "What is this about?" she asked. As we chatted, she shared that she has cancer and is moving to Oregon in a few months. She wants to live in a state that allows death with dignity. This weekend, our Deathcare community planned a gathering in a neighborhood park as an invitation to move through grief together, gently, creatively, and without pressure. We set up self-paced stations for art making, breathwork, writing, and a space to be heard and witnessed. On a table covered in a quilt embroidered with butterflies, we had placed a bowl filled with colored rocks. The sign said, "Please take a stone as a gift, or place one as an offering in the park." Her hands trembled as she carefully touched each stone in the bowl. Eventually choosing a bright blue one, she said, "My mother died last year. I'm going to put this in the park for her, near a rose bush with pink blooms because she loved those." Two sisters arrived just before we settled into our seats under a spreading magnolia tree for the breathwork session led by a physical therapist in our community. They said, "Today is the anniversary of our beloved mother's death, and we came because we wanted to do something special to honor her." So 8 of us gathered in a circle, feeling the wind ruffle our hair and watching white clouds billow overhead. The fragrance wafting over from the rose garden seemed to be caressing us as we breathed it in. Later, a woman rode up on her bicycle. The basket on the front was filled with ruby red tomatoes, sweet peaches, and huge golden sunflowers from the nearby farmer's market. She was excited to see the sign, "Draw Your Grief," with paper and art materials spread along a picnic table. She sat down and grabbed a marker to add her picture to the mural being created. Some people drew, while others wrote notes to their beloved ones. "I wish I had said." Mothers arrived with their babies and spread blankets and toys out for anyone who wanted to play. 2 teenagers dropped by and made beaded bracelets decorated with the name Grandpa to remember the man they missed so much. And a white-haired man made one for Max, the faithful furry companion he lost to cancer. Earlier that morning, we had spotted a small bench in the park overlooking a pond dotted with ducks, and that became our listening bench for the day. Emotions naturally came up for people who were participating in the other activities, and when someone became overwhelmed with feelings, one of the death doulas from our group offered to walk with the person to the listening bench. She sat with the person and held space for them to express their emotions in whatever way they wanted, screaming, talking, weeping. We humans are wired for connection and empathy. No matter how distracted we get by a system designed to keep us numb, there comes a moment when the grief breaks through the dam. Something in us refuses to die. We feel it all. The grief, the rage, and the unbearable need to do something. When we truly remember, we stop pretending we're separate. That's how we return to our humanity, to the part of us that still knows how to listen, to the part of us that refuses to look away and dares to care. Something tender survives, and that's when we come back. That's when we come back to life. In service of truth and love, Lee. A note: death with dignity is an end-of-life option governed by state legislation that allows certain people with terminal illness to voluntarily and legally request and receive a prescription medication from their physician to hasten their death in a peaceful, humane, and dignified manner. You may be interested in my essay last week, Our Deathcare Community, Lessons the Dying Can Teach Us About Living. I invite you to read it at leesumnerirwin.substack.com. Thank you for being here.